I never thought buying concert tickets for someone could end up being the most satisfying revenge I'd ever experience. But looking back, maybe it was karma giving me a little helping hand. When I was 18, I met this girl. Let's call her Emily. She was sweet, quiet, and came from one of those families that looked perfect from the outside. Smiles at church on Sunday, matching sweaters for family pictures, and a big faith over everything energy. But what I didn't know then was that behind all that Christian family sparkle was a level of manipulation I couldn't have imagined. Her dad owned a construction company until one day he got badly injured. His arm got caught in a garage door, and he was left unable to work. The family was never the same after that. He started receiving disability benefits, which should have been enough to help them live comfortably while he recovered. But instead of focusing on healing, the family discovered something else: how to work the system. It started small. Her mom, who was always the one doing the talking, started convincing doctors that the kids all had different disabilities. It wasn't long before every single one of her children was diagnosed with something: ADHD, depression, dyslexia, you name it. My girlfriend later told me she was even pressured into faking dyslexia. It sounded insane, but when I saw the paperwork and the proof, I realized this wasn't just some exaggeration. Her mom had found a way to turn fake diagnoses into cash flow. Every one of those kids was now on SSI, supplemental security income, and all the checks went straight to her mom. And if that wasn't enough, her mom also became their PCA, their personal care assistant. She was being paid $16 an hour for each child. There were 4 of them. That's $64 an hour. And guess what? She wasn't even taking care of them, not for 1 second. She spent her days shopping, meeting friends for coffee, and posting "Faye blessed" pictures on Facebook while pretending to be a selfless mother doing it all. My girlfriend showed me a photo of one of her mom's pay statements once, almost like she wanted me to know how wrong it was. I could see the guilt in her eyes, but she also looked trapped, like if she even dared to question it, she'd be next on her mom's hit list. Still, I loved her. I wanted to do something kind, something meaningful for her family that Christmas. So I bought them tickets to see Journey, her mom's favorite band. Front row seats. Expensive, but worth it. I wanted them to have something nice, something real. For a while, things seemed okay. Then after about a year and a half of dating, Emily started talking about moving in with me. I said yes without hesitation. I had my own place, I was doing well, and I thought this could be our next step together. When she told her mom, everything exploded. Her mom lost it. She screamed that Emily was destroying the family, that she was financially ruining them. I couldn't understand what she meant until Emily explained that if she moved out, her mom would lose the PCA payments she got for taking care of her. Her mom wasn't angry about losing her daughter. She was angry about losing money. Suddenly, I was the villain. Her mom started throwing every insult she could think of. She said I was a manipulator, that I was trying to control Emily's faith because I went to a different church. She accused me of being after Emily's disability money, which, ironically, I wanted her to stop receiving because she was perfectly capable of working. It got worse. Her dad, who'd barely said a word to me before, started calling, threatening to hurt me if I didn't stay away from his little girl. It was like a storm I couldn't stop. Emily was torn between her family and me. I told her I wouldn't make her choose, that I loved her enough to let her go if that's what she needed. She broke up with me. I remember sitting in my car afterward, gripping the steering wheel so hard my knuckles turned white. I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just sat there in silence, feeling like the world had turned upside down. I'd done everything right, been respectful, kind, generous, and somehow I was the bad guy. Months went by. I focused on myself, worked harder, and eventually got approved for a nicer apartment. But I hit one small problem. I was about $300 short on the security deposit. $300 between me and a fresh start. That's when it hit me. I remembered the concert tickets. The Journey tickets. The ones I had bought for her parents. I logged into my Ticketmaster account, half expecting they'd already been transferred or used. But there they were, still in my name, unused. And the concert was just 2 weeks away. I stared at the sell button on the screen for a few seconds. My heart was pounding, not from guilt, but from something else. Justice, click. Within an hour, the tickets were gone, sold, and that $300 covered, plus some extra for groceries. 7 months after giving them the tickets, I had just turned my biggest regret into poetic justice. 2 weeks later, my phone blew up. Calls, texts, voicemails. Emily, her mom, her dad, even her siblings. They all wanted to tell me what a horrible person I was. How could I betray their trust? How could I steal their tickets? But the best message came from Emily. She said, "You made my parents so mad." They drove 3 hours to get to the concert, only to find out the tickets didn't work. The show was sold out, and they couldn't buy new ones. I sat back in my chair and smiled. That kind of smile you don't plan, the kind that just spreads across your face when the universe finally evens the score. Her parents, the same people who built their entire lives around lying, manipulating, and exploiting others, had finally been played at their own game. And the beauty of it all, I didn't have to scream, fight, or get revenge in some dramatic way. I just took back what was mine. They wasted 6 hours on the road that night, only to end up standing outside the venue, angry, embarrassed, and powerless. I can only imagine her mom trying to talk her way past security, waving her hands, insisting, "There must be a mistake." There wasn't. For once, the mistake wasn't mine. I never felt bad about it, not even for a second. In fact, that moment taught me something. Sometimes revenge doesn't have to be cruel or over the top. Sometimes the best revenge is simply letting people feel the consequences of their own greed. People like that family think they can manipulate everyone forever. But the truth is, when you build your life on lies, it's only a matter of time before those lies collapse. And when they do, it's never quiet, it's spectacular. So no, I don't regret selling those tickets. I used the money to move into my new apartment, start over, and finally leave all that toxicity behind. If anything, I learned that being kind doesn't mean being a doormat. Being generous doesn't mean letting people walk all over you. And sometimes, the universe gives you the perfect opportunity to balance the scales. You just have to be brave enough to take it. If you've ever had someone take advantage of your kindness, you know exactly how this feels. That quiet moment where you realize, I'm done being the good guy in someone else's twisted story. Because in the end, revenge isn't about hurting someone. It's about reclaiming your power. And that night, when they stood outside that concert with their jaws on the floor, I got mine back.